Hi, Dee from Eastside Training Squad. I'm just going to run you through a 30-minute mat Pilates session. This session will focus primarily on some standing movements to assist with balance and strength, and we will complete our session down on the mat. Again, focusing on some strength work this morning. I'll layer teach these, so I'll give you variations and options with the movements. As always, anything that you are not in control with, just feel free to leave that movement out or work through the first series of sequences. So let's start with finding standing neutral posture, toes pointing forward, hips, knees and feet all in alignment. I want you to think about drawing your ribs in, sucking in the belly button, or imagine you're zipping your pubic bone up to your tummy button. So we're going to try and have a little bit of tension through our centre here. Relaxing those shoulders. I want you to think about the chest nice and open and your chin in neutral. We'll start with forward fold or standing roll down. I'm just going to turn to the side. Taking a breath in to prepare for the movement. I want you to exhale, reach those arms above your head. Keep the arms nice and long and extended. Trying to imagine you're reaching an object with your fingertips just out of your grasp. Rolling through the spine and rounding the shoulders. Take a breath in here. We're going to exhale and come back up to standing with those arms extended overhead. Let's work through two more of these. Soften the knees if that feels more comfortable for you. Drawing that belly button in, keep that connection to the centre. Last one. Nice long arms, really reaching, extending, shoulders rounding, spine is curved. Rolling back up to your standing neutral posture, keep those arms extended overhead. Lateral flexion on your exhale, reaching across, that nice lengthening through the arms all the way to the fingertips. Inhale to the centre and exhale, reaching across. Let's do one more each side. This is just a nice little stretch through the lumbar spine and just mobilising and getting those vertebrae nice and stretched and limber. Shoulder shrug, shoulder roll. We're going to remain in our standing neutral posture, so parallel legs. Starting with some parallel squats, and we're going to introduce offering arms. So palms will face the ceiling, and we're just going to bring the hands level with the shoulders. Taking a breath in, scooping in that tummy, exhaling. And inhale. I want you to feel that the feet are connected kind of through 4 points of the feet, big toe, little toe, and either side of the heels. You can just spread those toes out, just get that nice connection to your feet. So feet are the foundation, and we will be doing a little footwork with this standing series of movements to start with. Coming up nice and tall, let's just turn those toes out. We've still got heels and hips in alignment. What I want you to think about with this movement is just actively squeezing the thighs as we come back to this lengthened leg position. Arms will float up, very soft oval. And I want you to actively squeeze here. So, might be more comfortable if you inhale here, exhale, and squeeze. Exhale, press those thighs together. So I want you to feel like the glutes are actively squeezing or contracting, and we're feeling a little bit of work in the hamstrings as well. We're going to do two more. Good, nice exhale, press and squeeze. Last one. And exhale, squeeze. Just relaxing. Turn those toes pointing forward once again. And we're going to shift out into a wider squat. We're going to go into sumo position squat. If toes are not comfortable pointing forward or knees don't feel comfortable in this position, slightly turn those toes out. I'm going to kind of go halfway in between. We're going to go genie arms. So elbows will be in line with the shoulders. Take a breath in. Exhale, imagine you're sitting down on a very low chair. Inhale. Exhale, drawing that belly button in towards your spine, keeping that nice connection through your centre. So we've got everything all drawn in nice and tight through the abdominals. Beautiful, hips back and down. Just take this as low as is comfortable for you. Last one. Excellent. Relax those arms. We're just going to maintain this wide stance. We're going to go back into that sumo position squat. We're going to add in a slight change of tempo. So when you're ready, genie arms, belly button drawn in, breath in to prepare. We're going to exhale, sink down, and we're going to hold here. We're going to inhale and we're going to pulse for 3 on our exhale. Inhale, holding. Exhale, pulse, pulse, pulse. In. Inhale. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Breath in. Breath in. And this time I want you to exhale and extend those legs up. Relax those arms down. We're going to take those legs back into parallel leg position. Narrow squat with our offering arms this time. And we're going to repeat that little pulsing sequence. So I'll turn side on. Breath in to prepare. Initial exhale, sinking down. Holding here. Inhale. Exhale. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Breath in. Pulse, pulse, pulse. In. Last one. Breath in. Exhale, rising up. I'm going to turn and face you guys again. All right, let's bring in a little change of position with the feet. So we're going to go now into a forward lunge. So we're in standing neutral posture. You can place hands on your hips or hands in the small of the back. I'm just going to step back a little, so I'm stepping forward on the length of my mat. I want you to think about keeping the hips and shoulders in line as you step into this lunge. And I'll come back a little further so you don't lose me off the camera. So a breath in to prepare. We've got the belly button zipped in, eyes focused forward. Exhaling. And inhaling as we come back. We're going to alternate the legs as we work through these lunges. And we're working through 6. So breath in. Exhale, roll heel down, toe, ball of the foot. And inhale and coming back. I'll just explain that again. Rolling heel, ball and toe. And inhale as we return. Exhale. Inhale. Rolling that foot down. I think we've got 2 more to go. And stepping back. Now I'm going to reverse that movement. I'm going to come forward on the mat. Again, hands pressed into the small of the back, hands on the hips. Focus your gaze forward. Breath in to prepare. This time I'm going to land rolling the toes and the ball of the foot and bending that knee. Inhale as I step forward into parallel. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. So stepping back, connect the foot, then lower the leg, rising up, extending the leg and stepping forward. We've got 2 more. Last one. And exhaling and relaxing. Okay. Side lunges or lateral lunges. Now you can use the mat as a nice reference point with these. I'm going to place the heel on my left leg against the edge of the long part of the mat, and as I step across, I'm going to place the heel on the other leg in exactly the same position. So it's just landing on the edge of the mat. This way we know that the hips are staying nice and parallel and level as we work through these lateral lunges. So again, you can have hands on the hips, or you can take the arms into a T-arm position. Zipping in the belly button, we're going to focus your gaze forward, try to avoid looking at the floor. Take a breath in. We're going to step out and land the toes, ball and heel. And inhale and return. So we're bending this knee that we are lunging out on. This leg will stay nice and long as a support. And if I turn to the side, you can see the angle of the hip. So we're pushing that hip back and out just like we do in our squats. We're going to do 2 more. You guys are still working. And you'll see, of course, the upper body stays nice and long, shoulder to hip. We haven't tilted the chin forward or curved through the spine. So we're just going to repeat that sequence on the other leg. So you're starting parallel legs, heels aligned up to the edge of the mat. Breath in to prepare. Exhale, land toes and ball of the foot. Roll the heel down and peel that foot back up and return to parallel. Exhaling and inhale. And of course that body is going to hinge forward from the hips to allow for this movement of the lunging leg. Nice work. One more. Fantastic. Let's go back to the other end. I'm going to add on to those lateral lunges. So parallel leg position to start with, belly button zipped in, eyes focus forward, hands on hips, small at the back if you wish. We're just going to add in, yes, some pulses. So we're going to reduce our reps down to 4. We're going to add in 3 pulses. So breath in to prepare, landing the foot, toe, ball, heel, pulse, pulse, pulse. Nice, inhale back to parallel. Exhale. Inhale. Exhaling. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Nice big sniff in and return. Still got that connection to centre. I think this is the last one. Sometimes I'm terrible at counting. And returning. All you're going to do is come down to the other end of your mat, lining up, standing neutral, belly button in. Exhaling. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Inhale, return with me here. Big breath in. Belly button still on. Good. Last one. Pulse. 4, 3, and back. Nice work. Relax those shoulders, shrug, and roll. All right, now I talked a little bit about balance and stability work, so you have been working through that. A little more challenging, these ones. So we're going to start with standing neutral posture, toes pointing forward. What I'm going to get you to do is hands on hips again, or small at the back. Take a breath in. I want you to peel your heel up and roll it down. This is the footwork I was talking about. Inhale. Roll up, press the ball of the foot and kind of even spread your toes and lift them as you bring that heel back down. I'm just going to do one more. All right, and this is just in readiness for the next movement. Now, of course, if you feel a little bit wobbly, come close to the wall. Make sure you haven't got your hand up here or down here, about level with your shoulders, so we'll keep those hips and shoulders nice and level. And you can use that wall for some assistance. We're just going to start with a knee lift. Roll that foot back down. Exhale, lifting up, pointing toe to the floor, trying to get the knee level with the hip. That doesn't really matter though. Really switching that belly button on. Wasn't quite ready there. Last one. And rolling that foot down, connecting the whole of the sole of the foot to the floor. Let's just change that movement. This time I'm going to get you to take a breath in. Exhale, tap. Inhale, return to parallel. Exhale, tap, land the big toe, extend that leg, and return to parallel. I want you to feel those quads contracting as you extend the leg out to the side. You're going to feel all of these glutes working as well. Last one. Second option, you can repeat that for 4, or and return. Use the wall if you need to. Ooh, really feeling those hips working now. Belly button's still drawn in. We've got that connection to centre. We're really utilising the abdominals and the rest of the core to stabilise us. Take a moment there, back and standing neutral. Let's bring that into a combination move. Again, use the wall if you need to. Breath in to prepare. Knee lift first, point the toe. Tap the toe. Exhale, lateral leg extension. And return. Let's do that 3 more times. Exhale. Tapping the toe. Exhale. And return. Knee lift. You could just hover the foot off the floor if you wanted more of a challenge. Returning before you go through the combination again. Exhale. And returning. If you need to, get those legs a little shape because you're going to repeat that process all on the other leg. So we'll start with those little marching up and down. Peel the heel off. You can spread those toes out. Exhale. Press the heel down. You can lift the toes up and spread them out. So we're really getting a lot of work happening through the feet, the toes, the ankles. Last one. Excuse me. Parallel leg position. I'm going to turn and face you. Now this one, remember, we're just going to lift. Inhale. Exhale. Sometimes you'll feel a little wobblier on one side than you will on the other. Dominant side, weaker side. And working through Pilates bilaterally helps to try and sort of correct any imbalances. It won't completely correct them, but it will strengthen that less dominant side. Let's go now into our lateral leg extension. Exhale, just tap the toe first and return on your inhale. Exhale, lengthening that leg out, feeling those hips working, smaller glutes here, larger glute here, and you're going to feel those quads working as well. Holding there. Now we'll introduce the combination, the knee lift and the leg extension. So returning to connect to the floor in between each if you need to. Use the wall as well. Exhale. Just tapping that toe, and exhale. And return the foot completely to the floor. Go again when you're ready. Exhaling. Tapping the toe and exhaling. Rolling the foot to the floor. Slightly more advanced version. You can keep that toe hovering off the floor before you go into extension. Return between the combinations. Last one. And releasing, and you can just march it out. Keep the feet or toes connected to the floor as you just walk it out through those heels. Okay, a little bit more movement through the legs and working on standing balance. This time I'm going to get you, I'll go side on. We're going to return to those knee lift movements, but I'm going to add in some hamstring curls. So we're going to focus on the hamstring curls first. So hands on hips, or press the small at the back. We're nice and tall, shoulders, hips to heels. Belly button in, connection to centre. Breath in, exhale. And inhale with control, returning the foot to the floor. Same leg. So you're going to feel this quite intensely through the rear facing thigh muscles. Hamstrings, major glutes. Last one. And return. We're going to go other leg. I'll turn and face you. Yes, there is a slight shift of your body weight to allow for that leg lifting. That's absolutely fine. You have to shift to compensate for that leg lifting. Exhale, belly button still in. I think that was 4. All right, now we'll introduce that combination move. So we're going to go knee lift, hamstring curl. I'll just turn side on. I'm going to have hands on waist. Beg your pardon, hands on hips. Breathe in, belly button in. Exhale, knee. Tap the toe and curl. Tap the toe, knee, tap and curl. And tap. And knee, and tap, and curl, and releasing. Walk those feet out if you need to. Let's go other side. Breathe in to prepare. Float that knee up, level with the hip if you can. Inhale, tap the toe, exhale, curl. Tap. So we're exhaling on the curl, we're tapping to return the toe to the floor, we're exhaling on the knee. You've got one more. Last one. Last curl. Oh, nice work. And walk out those feet if you need to. All right, final standing movement for balance, and you may wish to use the wall. I'm going to just place my fingertips on the wall for this one. And we're going to work through our leg rotations standing today. So, parallel leg position. Hand on the hip just to keep the hand out of the way. We're going to start with extending the leg forward, pointing the toe. Take a breath in. Exhale, circle. And tap. Exhale, circle, and tap. Holding there, we're going to reverse this. So we're going to take it straight through and circle out. Breathe in, and tap. Think about drawing that belly button in. Trying to keep this hip and leg nice and still against the rotation of this leg through the hip socket. We're simply going to switch sides. And again, not really focusing on balance so much with this one, but it's more mobility and flexibility through the hips. So I'm just going to stand here, tapping the toe forward, breathe in, exhale, and circle. Now, how big and high you want to make that circle is relevant to you, but just being mindful that we don't want to rotate too much or move through the supporting hip. So this leg is doing all the work. Taking a moment there. Exhale, sweeping behind, out and around. So again, feeling it really intensely through the glutes, the hips are driving the movement. And slightly different feeling than doing our leg rotations on the floor. Just both feet connected to the floor, standing neutral posture. We're just going to rotate through those hips. Let's do a couple the other way. We're going to pop down to the floor to complete our strength session and balance session. Forward fold, floating those arms up on your exhale. Drawing the belly button in, connection to centre, arms long as we release. Fingertips down towards the floor. Holding here for a moment to walk into our high pike or downward facing dog. Let those ears sit at the top of your arms, pushing those hips back and long, making that nice triangulated shape with the body. Breathing normally here. Exhaling as you walk those hands further down the mat and popping into your kneeling position. Got child's pose or hips to heels. If this arm forward position does not feel comfortable through your neck and feels somewhat restricted, let the arms relax beside the legs, nice and heavy. Relax the shoulders away from the spine, let the crown of the head relax to the floor. Tuck that chin. You are allowed to look back to your feet with this movement. Take a moment there just to bring that head up. Don't rush it. Walking up to 4-point kneeling. Knees stacked under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. So, again, panther, and you can go single knee lift. On your exhale, or having the heels lifted, double knee lift. I want you to think about really drawing the belly button in, and imagine you're deflating the abdomen as you exhale. So breathe in to prep, exhale. So you're getting all that air out of the belly, out of the diaphragm as you exhale. If that's too much, single as you exhale and single as you exhale. So we're going to We're going to progress into the next variation. Now I'm going to turn and face you. Definitely working through shoulder and abdominals with this movement. Heels are still up, still in that nice square position. Take a breath in. Exhale. Pivot through the balls of the feet. Inhale and return. Exhale. Pivot through the balls of the feet. The heels are lifted. And inhale, return the knees to the floor. I'm just going to work through 4 more of these. Now, the lower you have your knees to the floor, the more challenging this is. The higher you lift the hips up, the less stress is working through those abdominals. Engaging your obliques with this movement. The abdominal muscles responsible for assisting with rotation. So, have a little breather there, bring the wrists up off the floor. We're going to add on to this movement. A combination. I'm going to widen the hands out this time. Knees are under the hips to start with. We're going to take it into some Pilates press-ups. A breath in. I want you to think about as you widen the elbows and lower the chest to the floor. Keep the head and the chin nice and still. Inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale. So think about trying to track the chest towards the floor, keeping that head and chin very still. You're going to feel those shoulder blades somewhat retracting to the spine, and we're drawing that belly button in, so keep connection to the centre. Work through 2 more of these. I'm just going to show you the variation. Knees can be behind the hips, or you can come up into your full press up. All right, taking a moment to come back into wrists in line with the shoulders and hands shoulder distance apart. Heels are up. Take a breath in. Either single knee lift or double. And return. If you're going to go 2 double, or we'll do 1 each with single knee, then I want you to go into your rotation. We're going to go once. We're going to go again. We're going to widen hands. Press up. We're going 3 press ups. And again, you can have those knees behind hips, or you can be in full press up. Bring the hands in back under the shoulders. Single panther lift. Both knees, or you can go 1 alternating knee, 1 alternating knee. Now we're going to bring in the rotation. Other side. Widen the hands, inhaling to prepare. I'm going to go back a little. 3 press ups. Walk the hands in. You may wish to walk the knees in if you had them extended or full. Heels up. Let's go again. 2 panthers. We could be going single alternating knee. Second one. Rotation. Release. Exhale as you rotate, drawing that belly button in. Don't forget that connection to centre. Hands are wide, bringing legs in preferred position. Exhaling. Inhale, head and chin. Stay nice and still. And walking it back into your panther position and take it into your child's pose or hips back to heels. Remember, you can have those arms resting beside your legs as well. So that head relax, eyes looking back to the feet, and just creating that nice flexion through your spine. Just come up in your own time when you're ready. I'm going to face you. Upright kneeling, and we're just going to take our time coming back up to our standing position. Heels up, wrists in line with the shoulders. Let's traverse up to our pike. We're going to hold here for a couple more breaths. Oh, that feels nice. On your next exhale, just gently walk those fingertips in, sweep those fingertips off the floor. Spine is in that nice C curve, belly button drawn in. Take a breath in, exhale, reaching, reversing that forward fold. Extending those arms out, give me a shoulder roll, a shoulder shrug. We're just going to release through those hips, quads and hamstrings. So, first stretch, we're going to release through the glutes and the hamstrings. I'm going to support the upper body, hands on this bent leg, and pushing the hip back and down. Toe is up, heel connected to the floor. Try not to look back towards your tummy button, looking down towards the floor, forward of that foot. Good, rolling that foot forward. Take your time coming up. We'll just stand in a split stance, so both toes pointing forward, both legs nice and long. One hand on the rear of the hip, one hand on the hip bone. And I want you just to lean back slightly and feel the stretch created over your hip flexors, your hip bone, and down through your quads. And just supporting through that lower back there. Good. Just leveling up. Option to that stretch is, and you can use the wall for support, is your standing quad stretch. You'll have your knees together, your heel pushed up to your glutes, and that knee is pointing to the floor. I want to really press that foot into the hand and vice versa. If that's not comfortable, do that first split stance stretch. Gently releasing, I'm just going to switch sides. So we'll do a hamstring stretch first, lengthen that leg out, hands on the supporting leg, pull that toe up, heel connected, and looking forward of this extended leg. Ooh, feel that nice release. Achilles, calves, hamstring, glutes. Roll that foot down, rising on up. Split stance stretch, so we want this leg back. Hands on the hips, push that hip forward. Feel that nice lengthening through the hip. And down through the quads. Or option, standing quad stretch. And she'll face you to see whether I knew that would happen. Good, knees together, pulling that heel up to the backside and really pressing that foot into the hand. And again, you're getting that nice release. And you can hold on to the wall with this one. Gently releasing that leg. Nice wide stance with those feet. We're just going to rotate through those hips. Or do a couple the other way. And last big stretch, breath in. And exhale. Well done, guys. So if you are enjoying these sessions, you can find me on D Hours YouTube. And I run Eastside Training Squad here in Christchurch. Have a great day and thank you for joining me.